Hey everyone, I recently read another recently published book and I thought I'd kind of share my thoughts on it. This one is called Mean Baby, a memoir of growing up by Selma Blair. It was published on May 17th, 2022. I got it. I've always liked her well enough, and Barnes & Noble had signed copies, so why not? So at first glance, it kind of seems a bit, isn't she kind of young to be writing a memoir? She's, I think, 50 right now, and it kind of seems like that's kind of young, but I get it. It makes sense as the story progresses. So it is arranged into 3 sections, and the first section is about her childhood and growing up. She has a complicated relationship with her mom. Public appearances are super important to Mom, and that kind of messes with Selma sometimes a little bit. Also, things oftentimes are never good enough for Mom, so that messes a little bit emotionally as well. So Selma she goes to school in Cranbrook, which is, I'm familiar with the school. It's a pretty big deal. And so she goes there, Kalamazoo College, and then she transfers to the University of Michigan. She hadn't really planned on getting in acting until one of her professors recommended that she try out for a student production to help better understand Shakespeare. And that totally makes sense. I get that. I've definitely realized over the years that Shakespeare is meant to be read out loud. It is not meant to be read quietly. So she gets into acting, and part 2 is about her acting career. She spends a couple years in New York and then moves out to LA, where she really gets a reputation as a sidekick. She's never really establishing herself or getting the roles of a leading lady, but she gets some pretty major side roles. The 2 in particular are she plays Cecile in Cruel Intentions, and then she plays Vivienne Westwood in Legally Blonde. Both very good roles for her. She kind of gets a little typecast as kind of like the dry, sarcastic, self-mocking type of character. And, I've liked everything that I've seen her in. And then the third part is about her health, particularly once she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And throughout all 3 parts are some, I don't know if themes is the right word, but some commonalities. She struggles a lot with alcoholism and with overdoing it on substances, and then just all the different relationships, romantic relationships, friend relationships, those are all kind of interspersed as well. There are a number of pictures, which I definitely liked, although I wish she had provided captions for some of them. For instance, there is a picture in the first part. I think it's a picture of Mom. I don't really know. So I do wish there had been captions. And the other thing that I didn't love is I get that the story is not purely chronological. It is told in the 3 major components: the home life, the acting, the MS. But within that, even at one point, she's telling a story about ending a relationship with a man. And then on the next page, she's talking about how they met. So we don't necessarily need the meeting, the duration, the breakup of every single relationship, but I do wish it had flowed a little better. At least tell us, if you're going to tell us how you met, tell us how you met before you tell us about the breakup. So those were a bit of my gripes, but overall I did really like the book. A lot of these memoirs, autobiographies of famous people, a lot of them tend to be fairly similar to each other. That's just the nature of it. They're all basically the same. I grew up, I became famous, and here's my life now. And it's not a complaint about this. It's just kind of the nature of writing autobiographies. So I did like it. She sees a lot of psychics and tarot readers and astrologists, and you can take it or leave it with that. She is definitely a flawed person, as are all of us, and she doesn't try to hide it. So that's, she's not trying to pull any punches here. So it's a decent length book, 200, 300 pages. It is 289 pages. The other thing, thank goodness for the internet, because every time she mentioned a magazine cover that she had been on, I wanted to see what it looked like. So I do wish that those images had been included as well. One thing that's kind of funny is at one point she references some communication she had with the actress Jennifer Grey. And that is another book I have out on the shelf to be read. I got Jennifer Grey's, again, signed copy. So it'll just be funny. I wonder if Jennifer Grey will reference Selma in her book. So this one, it was good. It's not the greatest book I've ever read, but it was certainly entertaining enough. If you are a fan of Selma Blair, if you want to learn more about her life, her struggles with MS, and it really did plague her entire life. And when she was younger, it was just kind of clumsy or forgetful, but knowing what we know now, you could definitely see it had been there and had been affecting her forever. So this one, it was good. I would give it maybe like a 7 or 8 out of 10. If you like her work, if you want her story, check it out. It's worth the read. So this was called Mean Baby by Selma Blair. Thanks for watching. Bye.